Welcome to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. For the first time in 4 years, Duke and Connecticut meet. The #1 overall seed trying to advance to its 13th consecutive Elite Eight, while the Duke Blue Devils try to pull off the upset of the tournament to knock out the overall #1 seed. Welcome to courtside in Albany. Adam Amin, Carol Lawson, Rebecca Lobo, Holly Rowe is with us as well. There's a lot of firepower on this UConn team, as everybody knows, but maybe somebody who doesn't get enough credit is one of their veterans in Napheesa Collier.
Napheesa Collier was a first-team All-American a season ago. A bit of a slow start at times this year, but she's really come on strong, particularly in the NCAA tournament. 24 points a game, shooting 83%. One of the parts of her game that's really improved is her assists. She only has 2 fewer assists this season than she did her first 2 years at UConn. Another part of their well-balanced attack.
If you're going up against the University of Connecticut, there's so much pressure on your guards to be able to perform. Lexi Brown and Rebecca Greenwell, those two have to have phenomenal games. When you look at what they can do on the offensive end and you see the career points, almost 1,900 for Greenwell, over 2,000 combining Lexi's points at the University of Maryland and here at Duke. Those two have to be special. They have to be intelligent, and they cannot get rattled when UConn goes on one of those normal runs that they do.
And Holly, the tie that binds these two teams together seemingly is sitting on the UConn bench right now.
Well, that's right. Gino Auriemma told us yesterday that if they win this national championship this year, it will be because of Azurá Stevens. She will be the difference. And keep in mind, just 2 years ago, she was starting for Duke, where she averaged almost 19 points, 10 rebounds a game. She said, you know, I just was looking for something different in a program. And in a rare move, she transferred and was accepted into the UConn team. Gino Auriemma, who doesn't typically take transfers, said, you know, I wasn't going to re-recruit her. If she wanted to be here, she had to make it happen, and she has. She has fit into this team, and Duke coach Joanne P. McCauley says, although we were very sad to see her go, we are very proud to see what she's accomplishing at UConn. It's hard to go into an established program like that and make a difference. Will she be the difference today? Gino Auriemma thinks she is the key to this UConn team.
To Azurá Stevens' credit, to Joanne P. McCauley's credit, and to the Duke players' credit, they were very complimentary and very supportive of the decision that Azurá Stevens made to transfer from Duke to UConn. Especially Lexi Brown, considering that Brown was playing in a Final Four for Maryland against UConn a couple of years ago and found a new home with the Duke Blue Devils. She was probably as understanding as anybody about that.
She was the player on the other side that could relate the most to it. Played in 2 Final Fours. Started as a freshman, went to a Final Four at Maryland. Started as a sophomore, went to a Final Four. And then decided to transfer to Duke and has had a terrific 2 seasons in a Blue Devil uniform.
She knows what it's like, as she put it, to be a transfer kid.
Made it sound like the redheaded stepchild of college basketball.
That's exactly right.
Brown and Greenwell, the keys to the car for the Duke Blue Devils today and going forward. Azurá Stevens has been exceptional off the bench as of late for UConn. The defending champions await the winner in the Elite Eight. South Carolina with a win already today. And now UConn and Duke square off. A look at our starting lineups brought to us by Capital One. It's been a 6-player rotation most of the season for UConn. Stevens will be the first off the bench. Kia Nurse banked it in.
See Duke starting out in a man-to-man defense, a team that typically plays zone, but we saw that in their first-round matchup against Belmont as well. Not afraid to go to the man-to-man for the right matchups.
Tough take by Liana Odom. Nurse to Collier, and a foul.
The pace, the acceleration of this team, and the way they change ends. There's no delay. And if you have a delay defensively, you're going to give up a layup. And that's exactly what Duke does on that play.
It stays with UConn at this end of the floor. Williams ducking under defenders.
And I'm not sure if Odom understands the challenge that's going to be before her and going against a player like Gabby Williams. You better be ready. Joanne P. McCauley needs a timeout to make sure they are.
Before the American Conference Tournament, Gino Auriemma talked to us about Azurá Stevens and her impact.
She's almost like a freshman because everything that she's gone through is the first time that she's ever experienced this. So I can feel it, the way she talks, the way she looks, that with each passing day, especially the last 2-3 weeks, you can just feel it, like she's getting it. She's starting to embrace all the things that she was afraid of early on.
And she definitely embraced them in the American tournament. She was the MVP of that tournament, played great. And when we were talking to her yesterday, she said, the coach challenged me to raise my game, raise my mindset, and she feels like she's been able to do that. I mean, you heard Holly Rowe. She's the player that will determine whether or not they win a national championship. She comes off the bench.
Yeah. A very important sixth player for UConn, the former Duke Blue Devil. Shot clock down to 5 for Greenwell. Somebody's got to take a shot. It's Suggs. Rocky start for Duke in the first 2 minutes. Samuelson. One of the best three-point shooters in college basketball. Second in the country in percentage this year at 47.
So the extension of pressure by UConn is just getting Duke a little out of sorts, right? Offensively, not feeling as comfortable, not able to get the ball to Lexi Brown and Rebecca Greenwell as much where they want it.
They finally get a touch for Brown right there.
Because they were settled and they were a little bit patient. They felt frantic in the first few minutes.
Lexi Brown, an excellent defender. The ACC Defensive Player of the Year, broke Alana Beard's single-season Duke steals record. 117 this season.
Any defensive record with Alana Beard next to it is an impressive one. One of the best defenders in women's basketball history.
Defensive Player of the Year last year in the WNBA.
Yep. Well, Duke has had a lot of them. Elena Elizabeth Williams was an excellent defensive player. There's Collier on cue, Rebecca.
And she's become so much more comfortable throughout the course of the season, just finishing inside. That's what she did so well last year when she was third in the nation in field goal percentage, right at 68.
Here's Greenwell. She's got a really quick shot.
We've already seen the outside shooting prowess of both Lexi Brown and Rebecca Greenwell, and that's going to be important in this one where you're trying to match a potent UConn offense.
Greenwell slipped a little bit. That opens Samuelson up inside. Nobody has hit more three-pointers in Duke history than Greenwell. She's the only player in Duke history with 300. That last one put her at that mark. Ooh, Samuelson might have taken an arm or elbow to the chops from Suggs. And a little insult to injury is that she picks up the foul here.
Being real aggressive, and you see UConn trying to get out into the passing lanes, deny certain players, and excellent deflection there by Crystal Dangerfield.
Williams around Lexi Brown.
She's got such great touch on her finger roll around the rim. Doesn't matter if it's the right or the left hand.
And she sometimes starts that move to the basket outside the restricted area. It's a lot of ground to cover, but that's how deft and athletic she is. Nice pass inside to Liana Odom. Erin Mathias, the 6'4" center, with the assist. Williams again. Suggs not much of a three-point shooter. Instead, they'll get a great look for Brown. Couldn't finish. And here comes Azurá Stevens. Forgot to take the warm-up off. She was so pumped up to come in. "26 points in just 15 minutes in that rout of St. Francis in the opening round. Azurá in traffic. Good defense by Duke. Good cut by Odom, and Stevens picks up the foul.
Duke's cadence is a little bit calmer. Able to draw multiple defenders. It's a nice pass by Suggs. And I think that was just by her proximity towards the basket. She's certainly not one of their top offensive players, but brings a lot from the leadership standpoint. And Odom, I didn't even think competed the first 90 seconds of this game. And she's doing that a little bit better. And she has to, because her matchup is going to be Gabby Williams for most of the game on either end of the floor. If you don't compete, Gabby Williams will embarrass you.
And Odom in the regular season, 9 points, 6 rebounds a game. Not all that draw dropping, but she has been outstanding in the first 2 rounds of the tournament. Has really come alive and has the athletic ability to compete and beat a lot of her opponents.
What a steal by Brown. Finding her running mate Greenwell. Maybe Samuelson had something to do with that deterrence getting back.
So that's one missed layup from Brown in the half court, right? And that's one by Greenwell in transition. You got to make those if you're Duke. Might be a tie game if they made both. Collier misses. The long arm Stevens with the rebound. And a good tie-up by Mathias. Coverage of the Division I Men's Basketball Championship Elite Eight continues today on TBS and CBS. For matchups and game times, go to NCAA.com. Some pressure from UConn. Odom blocked by Stevens. She led the American Conference with 70 shot blocks. Williams around and out. Jada Adams, a 6-foot freshman, is in off the bench for Duke. Clock down to 5 for Odom. Suggs. And not much of a three-point shooter. He's only taken 16 all year. Collier. Some good looks for UConn. Duke clearing out. And solid defense for Duke.
Yep. That's how Duke has made its money most of the season. Not a jaw-dropping offensive year, but solid defensively.
And in the tournament as well, their field goal percentage defense second only to UConn's.
Suggs working hard. Stevens on the post. UConn had missed 5 straight until Stevens ends the drought.
Azurá Stevens has been posting up really hard every time down the floor. We were talking to her yesterday. She said she hardly ever posted up when she was at Duke. She was much more comfortable as a face-up player. That's one area her game has really changed under Coach Auriemma and Chris Daly's tutelage.
You look at all the post players around the country that have had phenomenal seasons. And that lends me to believe, as Lexi Brown hits that nice pull-up, that's why Gino Auriemma has tagged her as the most important player for them to win a championship. Because when you see performances like Tiara McCowan gave for Mississippi State, like Marie Grulich gave for Oregon State, you need to have a player that can be a force in the post to win a national championship. South Carolina has one in Asia Wilson as well. They await the winner of this game in the regional final.
It's Nurse guarding Brown. Picked up the dribble. Adams hoists it up. It's the seniors for UConn. Williams to Nurse. Final seconds. This will count. Ooh, nearly went down for Adams. Joanne P. McCauley's team got down 7 early. She'll be with Holly Rowe on the other side.
Well, Coach, they got out on a 7-0 run. You called an early timeout, but your team responded after that. What did you like that they came out of that timeout doing?
Just playing. You know, you gotta play the people. They got a bank shot 3, and they got 2 transition buckets. We can't, that stuff can't happen, particularly the transition. And I just want my players to play. We're a very good team, and great opportunity, but in the first few minutes, it was all hype. I don't like hype.
All right, they settled down. We'll see if you can resolve that hype, but they've gotten into a little bit more of a flow offensively. What have they done better offensively?
Slow down a little bit offensively, a little bit better timing with our cuts. There's a lot of back cuts that are open. You saw Nay take it to the rack real hard when they were trying to press us. We can do a lot of things, but we need to do them, and we need to have the ball longer than they.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
7-0 start to the game for Duke. For UConn rather. Duke's played right with UConn since, with South Carolina awaiting the winner of this one. Gamecocks are the defending national champions. The Huskies are the dynasty of college basketball, having won 11 national championships, 3 more than anybody else. And it's a Duke team that had a solid year in the best conference in the country. The ACC, RPI-wise, was the best league in college basketball this year.
You know, part of what Joanne P. McCauley is talking about is eliminating loose possessions, not giving UConn open opportunities, just like Kia Nurse just had. That was a terrible miss.
That's one of the worst misses I think we've seen from Kia Nurse. Does not miss that poorly, and that was a very awkward shot.
She made poorly the first shot of the game that banked in.
The bank shot. Yeah, you wonder how it's.
I totally forgot what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, it threw you off that much? We say this knowing Kia is the 6th best three-point shooter in the country. That's why it was so surprising. 2 to shoot. Liana Odom. Odom's got 6, Brown's got 5 to start. Stevens. Collier the offensive rebound. She's got 6.
It's been the difference for Connecticut. 9 second chance points now.
That's what I was saying. The loose possession. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent point. Excellent point.
Well recovered, my friend. Well done. Joanne P. McCauley may have been tagged with a technical foul here for coming out of the coach's box. And the coaches' boxes come all the way out to where Joanne is. Right there, you saw the line. That's one end of the coaches' box.
Well, to beat UConn, in fairness, you do have to think outside the box.
Very
so
well
apparently
played.
that's what she was doing.
I'm going to go ahead and take out a dollar out of my wallet. That's going to be for you, my friend. Samuelson with a free throw. It's the largest lead now for UConn at 9. Ooh, Lexi Brown. Not sure if it was a pass or a shot, but it looked pretty good up there for Odom.
She's a really nice athlete to watch.
That quick first step was something that popped off as soon as she started that drive. Stevens surrounded. Dangerfield hits the three. All 6 Huskies that have played have scored. Stevens with the block on Matthias. Here's Stevens. Good rebound by Matthias.
And the in and out is going to continue to be there because Duke is doubling every time a post player catches it inside.
Absolutely. And you look at Azrae Stevens on the defensive end of the floor. And if you can picture this, just how defensively UConn can play when she's back there, the fact that she can guard post players on an island herself, that allows them to up their aggressiveness in other places because of her presence and ability to do that, change shots.
Stevens picked up the loose ball. Tough pass, but a great catch by Nurse. I think Joanne Pivacali wants and maybe needs a good, solid offensive set here.
I saw her just the last time they're bringing down the floor saying, slow down.
Matthias, long distance. Rebound by Collier. Immediate post to Stevens, who kept it alive. Samuelson. Defense by Dangerfield on Brown. Some of that athleticism Rebecca was talking about from Odom. And Matthias picks up the foul. Trip to the Frozen Four in St. Paul is on the line later on tonight. Minnesota, Duluth, and Air Force on ESPN2 at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. It's available on the ESPN app as well. Visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Players in off the bench for Duke. Jade Williams in the front court as Dangerfield misses the three. There's a block by Collier on Williams. Lexi Brown with another great read up the floor, but lost it off of her foot to Dangerfield. Williams. Lose possession.
You can see from Duke, it's taking so much energy out of Lexi Brown, out of Rebecca Greenwell to try and manufacture a quality look at a basket. Not just points, how about a quality look? Lion's share of the credit goes to UConn and how they're playing defensively.
Dangerfield with the easy steal. Nice play by Greenwell, but saved it to Dangerfield. cold start for Kia Nurse from the outside. UConn started the first with a 7-0 run. They've started this quarter with a 10-2 spurt.
Why, thank you very much, Maria. The story I have to tell you now is all about turnovers. Duke coach Joanne P. McCauley thought that turnovers would be the key to this game. They gave up 23 in their last game against Georgia. So she gave all of the players one of these this week. It is a blue basketball, and she treated this like that social studies science project she did as a kid where you had to take care of an egg for a week without breaking it. They had to show this ball to be able to get on the plane and prove that they had not turned it over in the game, in the time between their last game and this game. So they did a good job in the first quarter, just 2 turnovers, but 4 in the second quarter. I just dropped my blue ball as well, so sorry about that.
Well, they weren't going to be allowed on the plane if they didn't have the ball, so it was a little bit more of a punitive penalty than the science project egg.
Do you have to have like your initials on the ball to prove that it's yours?
That's a good point.
Like, I imagine if you can find another one of those things, you got to back them.
That's a good point.
Holly, we're going to check yours as soon as this half is over. You better have it ready. Here's Collier. And Rebecca Greenwell, a 6'1" guard, doing a nice job rebounding. Gabby Williams.
So what do? They try to give Lexi Brown a break sometimes and put her off the basketball. She's over in the corner. Well, that means Greenwell has to be the initiator, which is something she's done this year, but it's not her natural fit. Makes a poor decision passing, and Gabby Williams makes her pay. Duke scoreless in the last 5 minutes. This UConn defense has been great.
Odom knocks down the drought-ending jumper.
That elevation is so cool. It's light and it's quick.
Yeah.
Odom's elevation on her jump shots and going for the rebounds.
She's springing.
It's real and it's spectacular, Adam.
Collier. Matthias, Odom, Adams, Greenwell, and Lexi Brown at the controls. That was a knock away by Gabby Williams. Stevens will check in. 4 on the shot clock.
It was actually some nice action for Duke on the offensive end. It just has to be a little bit more decisive, right? Ice coverage in the defensive pick and roll for UConn, and Odom pops back. That pop back and that drive a little quicker. It needs to be a little quicker.
Offensive rebound, Matthias. Nurse guarding Greenwell.
Nice job by Kia Nurse to keep the ball out of her hands.
So Greenwell's trying to come to the top. She's trying to high post it. Another offensive rebound, Matthias. Duke's got to cash in. She's got 6 rebounds, so you'll reward her. The assist by Odom.
Good things tend to happen when Odom has the ball.
Yeah, seriously.
Often it's been near the end of the shot clock and she can elevate and score, but that time initiating with the pass.
Nurse. That one rattles down. Into double figures. Greenwell with a nice cut, but could not finish. Samuelson for 3.
So hard to defend when you have 2 of the top 6 3-point shooters in the country in opposite corners.
The largest lead has ballooned up to 18. I don't think you can call something a backbreaker in the first half, but that felt like a big shot. A gut punch to Duke. Brown threw it to Gino Ariema.
I'll tell you, Katie Lou has been spectacular in this first half at stunting. Stunting at the ball handler and then recovering back to her man. She's forced 2 turnovers doing that. It's her length, and it's an area of great growth for her in her game on the defensive end.
Williams to beat the buzzer. An 8-0 run to close the first half. A 20-6 spurt in the second quarter for Azurá Stevens, who's with Holly Rowe.
Well, Azurá, it is your first regional semifinal. When you got your name called to come in and check into this game against your former team for the first time, what was going through your mind?
Just a lot of excitement, honestly. It's just fun to be here. I'm special with my team, and last time I was here was my freshman year, so it's just a lot of excitement rushing back.
You forgot to take off your warm-up jersey, though. I was going to ask you, are you nervous?
A little bit of jitters, but I think I got them out now.
You've been a great presence in there defensively, causing a turnover there. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, just trying to protect the basket. My teammates are really, disrupting them on the perimeter, so my job is just to stay in that lane and protect the basket.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
5 rebounds for Azurá Stevens. Nurse and Williams with 10 apiece. Samuelson with 9. UConn taking advantage of the Duke miscues. A 20-point halftime lead for the #1 overall seed. Maria, it's back to you in the studio. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. An 8-0 sprint to close the first half for the #1 overall seed UConn Huskies, all part of a 20-point halftime lead. Time now to take a look at the Google Cloud highlights. The seniors for UConn getting it done.
Kia Nurse, we put the bank in, even though it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing shot, but those 2 players, particularly on the defensive end, I thought were terrific.
Gabby Williams can be aesthetically pleasing, especially when you see her go in and elevate and score. But just as you would expect from this UConn team, their seniors leading them so far in the first half.
Adam Amin, Carol Lawson, Rebecca Lobo. What do you need to see from Duke just to close the gap a little bit? It's got to be in these first couple of minutes, I would think.
I think one thing is their pace. They've got to quicken up the pace. They've got to have more possessions in order to cut into this lead where UConn's doubled them up.
You got to find a way, if you're Duke, to manufacture quality looks at the basket. It was something that UConn was so good at taking away. We saw a lot of Odom trying to make plays. That's by design. UConn doesn't want to allow Lexi Brown and Rebecca Greenwell to have an impact on the offensive end, and they were successful in the first half.
Let's find out what Holly Rowe learned from the Duke huddle.
Well, the focus here is on rebounding. They really clarified a plan on who's going back, who's staying for rebounds, and who's running back to guard in defensive transition. They've given up 8 points in transition, and that was a key factor coming into today. But more importantly, they have got to be more aggressive. Coach Joanne P. McCauley in that last timeout really huddling up, pointing at each player in that huddle, saying, hey, I need more from you. I need more from you. Really individually challenging her players because they are a good team. They hung around for a little bit. They've just got to give more.
I need more from you. Adam, I need more from you.
Do we need more from Holly? I'll always take more from Holly.
Always.
Here's Collier. Excellent on the defensive end on the previous possession. A solid stat line so far.
I mean, what were the last 3 halves to you? I've been giving it all.
3 on 3. Nurse, 4-3. 2 of 6 from 3-point range so far, Kia Nurse. Gino Ariema celebrated birthday number 64 yesterday. I don't know if it was part of the celebration, but he walked into our meeting yesterday by quoting Yellow Submarine, the album, and the song went up 64 by the Beatles. Lexi Brown late in the clock. Collier unable to finish. You said it, Rebecca. Good things seem to happen when Liana Odom has the ball.
Just watching her in the tournament, you wonder, how the heck did this kid only average 9 points and 6 boards during the regular season?
Yeah.
She's got a wealth of talent.
Scored 41 combined in the first 2 games in the NCAA. She's got a dozen today. Samuelson. Lengthy Samuelson guarding Brown. Odom again. Liana Odom, who played against Crystal Dangerfield in the McDonald's All-American game a couple of years ago, has another connection to a UConn player, Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis. She tied Kalina's 33 points in a state championship game. Tied for top 8 all-time in the California history books in a high school basketball state championship game. Interesting connections for Odom to the UConn players. Greenwell pops a 3.
Well, there you go. If you're Duke, and any comeback on the offensive end is going to come on the shoulders of Brown and Greenwell.
Yeah. And they string together some stops. What an adjustment by Williams in midair. That stops a 7-0 Duke spurt. Floater by Odom again. She's got 6 in the quarter. Good pass by Williams. Dangerfield could not connect. Another stop for Duke. Good recovery by Mathias. This is down to 13.
How about that? Love Duke being opportunistic and looking to push the pace.
Collier discards Mathias and scores. Azure Stevens and Megan Walker, the true freshman for UConn, at the scorer's table. Brown to Mathias. That's got to be one you convert on if you're Duke. Odom with the foul. We'll step aside. Lexi Brown played against UConn in the Final Four a few seasons ago, battling today. Lexi Brown potentially playing her final collegiate game. There she is with her dad, Dee, who spent 12 years in the NBA with the Celtics and Raptors and Magic. Slam dunk champion in 1991. Lexi's mom, Tammy, was a college basketball player as well at American International. Only Notre Dame's Orike Ogunbowale averaged more points per game in the ACC this year.
Well, you know, you talk talked also about her defense and the single-season steals record, which she broke with 115 steals this year. Make it 119. She has 4 today. So I reached out to the former record holder, Elena Beard. She is playing over in Poland, and she said, you know, I absolutely love seeing records broken at Duke. It's a testament to an individual's drive. However, what I love seeing more is seeing players take pride in doing the one thing that requires an insurmountable amount of focus and will every single game. Lexi has shown that on a consistent basis. I couldn't be more proud. 115 steals and counting, that's big time. Elena Beard, Defensive Player of the Year in the WNBA.
Well said, Elena.
I mean, we've talked about this, and I'll ask you guys this again, and you can say it from your personal perspectives, position-wise, too. What makes a really good defensive player? How do you get to be a really good defensive player?
Well, I mean, I'd like to talk about Elena Beard a little bit.
Feel free,
as
please. Please, feel free.
What's made her a great defensive player? And one has been her focus, her intensity, her competitiveness. Obviously, she's blessed with long arms and a great athleticism. You know, I think anticipation and intelligence. I mean, there's a lot of adjectives I think that go into being a great defensive player, and you know, she certainly has embodied all of those in her career.
So much too is about your fitness and your commitment to exerting as much energy on that end as you are on the other end, and it's a little bit different, especially for post players. But a lot of it is, you know, keeping your hands up. How often have we heard Coach Oriama telling that to his teams, even throughout the course of the tournament? Because you know it can be a difficult thing to do, but a very important thing to do.
Foul called against UConn here.
I remember on a telecast, Gary, you talking about how much fun you thought defense was.
No.
Well, to go back to your point, Lobo, watch when you guys are watching the Spokane Regional tonight. When you see good defensive stretches, watch the arms, watch the hands, and where they are when players on defense are in defensive position. You pointed that out last night. With good defensive teams, you constantly see arms up, hands up, trying to get into the passing lane and deter.
Makes a huge difference.
Walker, the offensive rebound. Stevens battling, along with Odom. Jump ball leaves it at this end of the floor with UConn. Got 2 good ones coming up as part of our quadruple header on ESPN today with the Spokane Regional. Texas A&M, Notre Dame, and then the other 11 seed out of the MAC, Central Michigan, taking on 2nd seeded Oregon. Stevens. Back to a 20-point lead. Duke was down 22 here in this 3rd quarter. They cut the lead down to 13 at one point. Stevens with the block on Matthias. Nurse. Brown sets it up for Suggs. Another offensive rebound for Matthias.
She's worked really hard today. And she's had to battle a number of UConn frontline players depending on the substitutions, and she's worked hard. Hasn't finished well on the offensive end, just 2 for 8, but has worked hard on the interior.
4 offensive rebounds out of her 8 boards today. Walker picks up the foul.
I absolutely have the most fascinating seat in the house right now because Gino Auriemma will turn and talk to his assistants and his players. I can hear everything he's doing as he coaches throughout the game. So he's not just coaching the players on the floor. every time something happens on the court, he turns back to the players on the bench. Just a moment ago, it was Nafisa Collier and Katie Lou Samuelson. His message, you got to do the little things. You can't just make shots. It's the little things that make you successful. Or why can't she freaking move her feet? You know, like, I just love this seat right now. I wish I could just put you guys over here in my pocket and let you listen to the Gino commentary. It is worth the price of admission.
I love her Gino voice that she was using just then.
How accurate was that Gino voice, just out of curiosity?
Well, I'm guessing the word wasn't freaking.
That really is the best seat in the place. Holly Rowe, just a couple of steps back of the Hall of Famer Gino Auriemma. Hall of Fame inductee in 2006, 8-time Naismith Coach of the Year, and a finalist again this season. If you haven't had the chance to do so, check out Wright Thompson's incredibly in-depth article about Gino Auriemma and why all of the success just doesn't seem to be enough. A story about his immigration with his family from a town called Montella, Italy, to Pennsylvania at age 7 on a boat with his family. How he had to pay bills for his parents when he was 8 years old because he was the only one who understood English at the time. A fascinating, in-depth look into Gino. Williams flipped it to Stevens. Final seconds. Adams again. Speaking of the 11-time national champion head coach, little dance for him as well. Still moving pretty well at 64. Holly Rowe will move from 2 feet back to right in his grill when you come back.
Welcome back to Albany, here with head coach Gino Auriemma of the UConn Huskies. And coach, you're not happy with your team right now despite the lead. What is the message? You're just clapping, firing them up right there.
No, I mean, we're playing great defense. I mean, they have 31 points. I mean, so there's no problem with our defense. I just think that down here, it's like we're just content to come down, pass the ball, shoot it, and then every once in a while we decide we want offensive rebound and do some things, but it's just, I'd like to see a little more the way we're playing on offense.
Okay, go deliver that message.
You got it.
Right like that.
That.
Well, Asia Wilson, who had a fabulous performance against Buffalo earlier today, headliner of the defending national champions, the 3-time SEC Player of the Year, awaits the winner of this one. And right now, it's UConn in control as we start the 4th quarter.
Asa Wilson, a player who can really get on the offensive glass, and you heard Coach Auriemma talking about that as Lexi Brown hits the 3. UConn has 12 offensive boards and 14 second chance points. But that's one of the things he was talking to us about yesterday. He said we're not a good offensive rebounding team because we shoot such a high percentage. We expect everything to go in. So much so that he said in practices they'll have 15-minute stretches where he only counts the points that come off of offensive rebounds.
UConn has out-rebounded all but 3 opponents this year. Stanford, Louisville, and South Florida in the American Conference Championship. Samuelson into double figures. She's the 4th Husky with over 10 points.
That's just a defensive mistake by Duke to leave a great shooter like Katie Lou Samuelson wide open. Miscommunication in coverage.
Odom draws a foul.
You can push a foul for 33 games.
16 points and 7 boards for Odom. We finish up in Albany at 8:39, and then we take it to Spokane, Washington. Notre Dame and Texas A&M at 4 o'clock Eastern time, a rematch of that epic 2011 championship game. And then Sabrina Ionescu and Maite Cazorla and that excellent Oregon offense going up against another darling in Central Michigan. And Sue Guevara's crew with a little preview of A&M and Notre Dame coming up in just a little bit.
I'm turning in for Kennedy Carter.
Yeah, man. What a shot she hit against DePaul last weekend. As Collier finishes at the rim. That epic 17-point comeback by Texas A&M. They've done it twice in 2 years, those big early round comebacks.
Henriel Howard was amazing for them in that game. 18 points, 19 boards, 9 of them on the offensive end. And then Kennedy Carter, 32 in the second half. She was special.
37 overall in the game.
She's got work on her first half. Other than that, she's pretty good player.
I was going to say, are you okay though? If she can counterbalance a little bit, or?
I don't know. High standards here. High standards.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave. If you got high standards, I ain't living up to those, buddy. Brown to Matthias. Aaron Matthias having a career season as a senior.
It's been a challenge for her today to finish those plays. And she's able to do that through some contact. And we had a great time with Aaron yesterday.
Yep. An aspiring fashion designer is Aaron Matthias. You got a chance to look at some of her creations and designs.
Not just look, we got to wear them.
Well, I was saving it. I was saving that.
My bad.
I was saving that for the people.
I mean, we got to look at some of her creations.
Yeah. Flawless save. Flawless. No, we really had an absolute blast with Erin yesterday. We got to model some of her clothes, and I use that term very loosely for myself.
I thought you were the best model, Adam.
I was the hammiest model. How about that? I don't know. Holly and I can compete. Holly and I can compete for that award. And you know what, folks? If you're nice, maybe we'll show you some of that in just a little bit. Here's Odom. I love that elevation. You guys were talking about it earlier. It's a fun shot to watch.
She's played a lot of minutes, and she has the same level of elevation here in the fourth quarter as we saw in the first half.
Well, you look at this Duke team, and Odom is a player that, from when she stepped foot on campus, has always oozed potential. And you look at this team moving forward into next season, she's going to have to make another big jump.
Yeah.
Not with her athleticism, but with her preparation, with her motor, with her ability to try and control games. She's not going to have the privilege or the luxury of having Lexi Brown and Rebecca Greenwell on the team.
And Coach P can just look at the NCAA tournament games and say, this is what you're capable of against high-level opponents. This is what the expectation needs to be every single day.
A reminder that SportsCenter, after boxing on ESPN tonight, John Anderson and Linda Cohn will break down Brow against Beard, a battle of MVP contenders as the Pelicans take on the Rockets in a battle of potential, well, I don't even want to say potential, they're playoff teams. Shohei Ohtani make the Angels' decision a little easier today in his final start of the spring, and some of the best moments from Loyola Chicago, the Ramblers from my hometown, and everybody's friend, Sister Jean. It's all coming up on SportsCenter on ESPN. Matthias wanted the foul. UConn has won 11 of the 14 meetings between these two teams, and 8 in a row. The last time Duke beat UConn, you have to go back to the 2006 regional final in Bridgeport. A 63-61 overtime win for Duke as Samuelson buries her fourth three. Monique Curry, Allison Bales, That was when our colleague Gail Gestenkors was the head coach at Duke. Duke went to the Final Four that season in 2006. Mahoney finishes again.
She's been able to shoot over everybody.
Yeah.
A couple times she's been deterred, but that was a really good play against probably the best defensive player in the country.
Talk about fatigue. Look at the Duke players. Their arms are down as they sit back in the zone.
I'm looking all the way around the defense right now, Rebecca. A lot of low arms. Feels like a combination of pace and physicality for UConn that has done that to Duke today.
Done that to a lot of teams.
Yeah. Dangerfield with another three. By Dangerfield. While we were chatting about it, we'll have a little bit of fun on the other side. The senior Erin Mathias, fashionista. Let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance.
Hey, I'm Erin Mathias. I'm on the Duke women's basketball team, and I'm also a fashion designer, a chain detail as well. And denim jacket with a matching belt. Nice little black sweater here. She's killing it. The jacket.
Pockets or just fashion pockets?
Semi-functional. 1, 2.
I couldn't hold it. I tried to hold it as long as I could.
I thought you were going to do it at the camera.
I could not hold it that long. Erin Mathias.
Holly won that.
Holly,
matchup.
well, yeah. Holly's going to beat me every time in that matchup.
I didn't know what we were doing. I was unaware.
I was just trying to freeze him.
Me too.
What is happening right now?
Why would you guys put this on a loop?
Oh,
this is
man.
Nightmare fuel for everybody watching right now.
There are women all over the country sliding into Adam's DMs.
Okay, but can we talk about how cute that hoodie is? I have actually already ordered one from Aaron for my son.
That's right. That's right.
I ordered one from him. It is so cute, and it's very creative. Those are spray-painted bottle caps.
Yep.
Rebecca had a great idea if you'd like to share that with America.
Please.
For those 21 and over, I thought it would be better instead of the bottle caps to actually have the bottle
opener on the
on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You got to know your audience, Rebecca, and I think you do. Erin Mathias, a major in visual arts and media studies, and has an innovation and entrepreneurship certificate. She's going to be a success long after basketball is over, and I think you can say that about a lot of the student athletes that we've had a chance to talk to and discuss their dreams and goals with over the last couple of weekends. Gabby Williams.
Newcastle number 32, Michigan Adams, has her first team third. Gabby Williams at the line, shooting 11.
Three-point play for Gabby Williams.
Last play by Gabby, the steal and the finish is one of those plays that's become routine for her, but it's still pretty darn spectacular when you see it.
The athleticism and leaping ability as Adams hits a three.
Oh, you think about players that, they talked about in the first game where Buffalo had a player that kind of jumped off the film. And the thing about a great player is that they jump off the film more than once in a possession, right? So they'll make a cut, and they'll make a pass, and they'll make a shot, or they'll make a steal, and then they get a layup. And that's what I love about Gabby Williams, is it's not just one highlight play per game. It's almost every possession she's doing something that's impactful. And it feels like multiple times a half she's doing something that's breathtaking from an athleticism standpoint.
will kind of have a double take or kind of be thrown back by another thing that she does at some point. And I don't think we've had a game this year where she's played that she hasn't had a couple of those moments during the game.
Yeah, they just make you say, wow. You know, I wish that my body would allow me to do that or would have allowed me to do that at some point in my career.
It's that, and it's also the motor.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we talked about this in the comparison and how it's a great opportunity for Odom on Duke to have played against Gabby Williams because the athleticism is there in her body as well, and the motor is not there.
Let me ask you guys this question. Did you have a player, maybe as a freshman or a sophomore, that you went up against that really you can define as somebody who made you better for maybe your junior or senior years? Can you guys pick out somebody like that?
Well, from a stylistic standpoint, it's one that's very similar to Gabby Williams at the collegiate level. It's Tamika Catchings.
Okay.
At the University of Tennessee. And all of those things I described about Gabby, Tamika Catchings did for her entire basketball career and did them at a great player level, an elite player level.
And you went up against her in practice relatively often?
Sadly, yes. Yes, sadly for me, yes.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it was not very fun to go up against her in practice.
Time now to take a look at the Google Cloud highlights. Lobo, let's go back to the top. We were talking about Napheesa Collier and her impact.
Oh, and Napheesa Collier has played so well throughout the course of the tournament. I mean, the player who can be so efficient. She's gotten her confidence back, it seems. She's being more aggressive on the offensive end. She's finishing the way we've become accustomed to watching her.
Jade Williams, ACC All-Freshman selection. Walker, true freshman, ESPNW #1 player out of high school. Finish at the rim for Williams. The NIT back to New York for its semifinals. Mississippi State and Penn State, Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern time on ESPN and the ESPN app. Visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Williams draws the foul. Nice little stretch for the freshman here. Well, the Duke Blue Devils are going to say goodbye to 3 seniors. Lexi Brown, 2 years playing at Duke. Rebecca Greenwell, one of the all-time greats. And Erin Mathias, who had her best season this year. Greenwell comes off the floor for the final time as a Duke Blue Devil. Stevens draws the foul. Kyla Irwin has checked in for UConn. Asia Wilson awaits. UConn and South Carolina. The potential next matchup. These two teams faced off earlier this season. It would be the first time that the last 2 defending national champions square off before the Final Four in over 2 decades. South Carolina, the defending champs. UConn with the previous 4 national titles. Bego Faz-Davalos, the grad transfer, gets a bucket. will be playing her final collegiate game as well. Lexi Brown, another steal. If that's the way she finishes her career, not a bad way to do it, and certainly an epitome of her career.
Yeah, she's been a great player, an instinctive two-way player. Has been an impact player her entire career.
Seven steals in back-to-back NCAA tournament games for Lexi Brown. That'll do it for her. The only active player in the country with 2,000 points, 500 assists, 250 threes, and 300 steals. High level, high class, energy player. Closes her outstanding run between two schools today.
Bright future ahead of her. Could be a top 5 pick in the WNBA draft.
Combo guard that could fill a lot of roles. Joanne P. McCauley really believes on any roster in the WNBA. Foul drawn by Jada Adams. Molly Bent on the foul.
When the bracket came out, everybody's eyes naturally go to the Albany region because of UConn and the overall #1 seed. And so that's the first place your eyes go to a bracket. And the second place your eyes go to the bracket is the bottom of the Albany region to see who is their 2 seed. And I think when everyone saw it was South Carolina, unless you were fans of the other team, you thought, now that would be a heck of a regional final if it gets to that point. Well, we're at that point, and I think it's going to be a whale of a game on Monday night.
7 Eastern, ESPN. A rematch from earlier this season in Columbia that UConn won handily. A 13th consecutive Elite 8 for Gino Auriemma and the UConn Huskies. And a spot in Columbus will be up for grabs when it's Huskies and Gamecocks. Let's go over to Holly Rose. She is with Gino Auriemma.
Well, Coach, an excellent defensive performance, held that team to almost 20 points below their average. What stood out to you defensively?
Well, I thought we did a pretty good job on Lexi and Rebecca. And, you know, obviously they're the heart and soul of their team. And as a team, I thought we worked really, really hard to make it difficult on them. I thought they got a lot of easy stuff on us, but you can't take away everything from a good team.
A couple of your starters came out, sat down beside you, Gabby Williams, Kia Nurse. You said, hey, good job, you two. That was about the only positive thing I heard you say. What did they do well?
Well, you know, for being seniors, you know, they know that we're down to the last couple of games, and you want to play all of them. You don't want the season to end. And I thought Gabby was like she always is in big games, you know, and we didn't shoot the ball particularly well today, you know, like we're accustomed to shooting it. But it's the NCAA tournament, and you need your seniors to play great. And I thought both of them did a great job today.
Speaking of seniors, you will face maybe the best in the country, Asia Wilson, to get to the Final Four. What will have to be done against her defensively to win that game?
I think it's like any other good player. I mean, You have to decide what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up. How you want to play and not play it the same way every time. I mean, obviously defense is really important at this time of the year, but I also think the ability to put the ball in the basket is maybe more important than what you do defensively. It's not easy to make shots in the NCAA tournament, so I'll worry more about our offense than our defense.
All right, good birthday present for you.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
The happy 64-year-old Hall of Famer Gino Auriemma gets another date with his fellow Philadelphia Eagles fan Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks on Monday night.
Tremendous matchup, and I think for South Carolina, you look at the play of Alexis Jennings today, and you look at the physicality of the South Carolina front line, and that has to give the Gamecocks a lot of confidence in going into this matchup.
They have the advantage in terms of Asia Wilson inside, but their guards are really going to have to come to play and be ready. You heard Coach Auriemma talk about we're going to be willing to give some things up and not other things. They're going to be all over Asia Wilson, so their guards might have opportunities. Harris, Kleining, they're going to have to be able to hit those shots when they come their way.
A solid season for the Duke Blue Devils. It comes to a close in Albany. We'll see you Monday night for Huskies and Gamecocks. For Kara, Rebecca, and Holly, I'm Adam. Here's Maria.